Climbing bushcrafter Jim Shields here. Have you ever been driving down the highway and you've seen a mattress on top of a car and it's not tied down properly and it's flapping up in the wind because they didn't know how to tie it down right? That's not going to be a problem for you anymore, because today I'm going to teach you the Truckers Hitch. So the Truckers Hitch is a pretty cool knot. It's used to tie down heavy loads on the back of trucks and stuff like that, and for a number of other things. It's been used for a long time. It's a way to get a mechanical advantage out of a rope, and you could tie things down really, really tight. So it's definitely a crucial knot, one of my favorites. It's often used in bushcraft survival camping to set up ridge lines. Ridge lines is when that's when you run some paracord or any kind of rope from one tree to another, and basically you can set up a clothesline, or you can set up a line to set up your tarp on, which is typically what I will do. So I'll show you how to do that today. We're going to take this 550 paracord, orange. I used orange because you could probably see it best on camera. The ends are a little bit frayed. We need to burn those up, but for the sake of this, it'll be fine. So we're going to start out with a certain hitch. Now, again, you've seen in my other videos probably me tie something like this, the Siberian hitch, which works really good because it is a quick release. I love that. But the one thing that I teach most of my students is the timber hitch. So you take the rope, you go around the first tree, we'll call that tree number 1, and you're just gonna wrap it around. You're gonna go around about 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you want to pull this back so it's tight against the bark of the tree, and then we're going to pull this tight. All right, so I'm going to give you an up close of what it should look like. So you have a piece of paracord here. I'm just going to take it around the tree from left to right. I'm going to take this top end, throw it over the bottom, and then I'm here. I'm just going to wrap this end, the working end, around this about 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I pull this tight, and again I slide it back so these wraps are against the bark, very important. And then you see this, pull on it, let go, and it comes undone. Here's an alternative method, like I was telling you, of how you could tie it. Just take this rope right here and you make a bunch of wraps. Doesn't really matter. The more the better, probably. Okay, wrap it around the tree, and you have this little bite on the end. Take your long end, go through that bite. Now you have to bring the entire rope through. Once you get it through, there you go, it works. 2 different ways to tie the timber hitch. Now, come with me. We're gonna run this all the way down to tree number 2, which is right here, okay? So we want this line to be super tight between tree number 1 and tree number 2. Now, the other great thing about the Truckers Hitch that I tie is that there's going to be no knots that you have to untie with vice grips or your teeth. That could get pretty hairy, or anything else like that, okay? So we're going to take this rope, we're going to go around the tree, and what I typically do is I'll kind of go against the tree and I'll reach out 1 arm's length and I'll grab the rope. Now I have a certain way that I do it. I put my palm out, I twist, grab, and pull, and then it's done. It's good to label tree 1 as the tree where you start and tree 2 as the tree that you are going to. So when I tie the slip knot, I face tree number 2, which is going to be that way, and I take my left hand, I put it palm against my hip, and then I turn it to the outside. So if you could see it like this, this is how I'm going to grab the rope. I'm going to pinch it. Once I pinch it, I'm going to twist my hand towards me so that I make a loop around my hand. And then I'm going to bring my thumb through, grab the piece of the rope that's going to tree number 2. That's important, not tree 1, tree 2. I grab it, pinch it with my little pinchers here, and then I pull it towards tree number 2. So I grab this, pull it through, tighten it up towards tree number 2, and that's going to give you your slip knot. I'll show you again one more time. You're here. Make sure your hand's in the right position. Grab, twist around 4 fingers, bring the thumb through, pinch, pull to tree number 2, and when you're done, there's your slip. Now, it's important that you grab the rope going to tree number 2 in order for the slip knot to work out properly. If you pull the rope going to tree number 1, the slip knot tightens down on this rope that I'm about to run through, and you have problems, okay? So you take this rope, you run it through the loop, pull it back, and now this is the beauty of the trucker's hitch right here. You get to crank down on this thing. You're gonna pinch it right here, over, under, crank it down. So once you lock it off, the thing that you could do to untie it is to just pull it. Ready? Boom, and it comes undone. That's the beauty of the trucker's hitch, all right? This is how the trucker's hitch works now, okay? So we're gonna get this tight. So we take the rope that went around tree number 2, we run it through this slip knot, and then we're gonna crank it super tight. Now we can get this as tight as we want, but the problem a lot of people have is they'll get it so tight that it's like a guitar string, but they don't know how to lock it in. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay, so this is the point where it gets a little tricky. So we're gonna run this line back here. We're gonna tighten it up. And this is the part that we need to teach you how to tighten up. Now there's a couple ways to do it. The first thing you could do is you can get it as tight as you want, but you have to pinch it right here. People pinch it here, but you have to pinch this end right here. And once you pinch it, you're gonna make a bite, go around this line, up through, grab this bite and pull it back towards tree 1. And it's kind of like a half hitch that is slipped. Let me show you that again one more time. Get it tight, pinch hard, over, under, pull hard towards tree 1. All right, so there is another way to tighten this trucker's hitch up. This way is kind of cool. If you pull it tight and you take this rope here and you go around the slip knot a second time, if you take it around and as long as you go below the first wrap, so like this, as long as this second wrap is below the first wrap, watch what happens when you tighten it down. Pull it as tight as you want, and then hands free, it stays. Now, that's not gonna stay. That's actually a quick release. If I pull this, it releases. So I would tie that off the same way, okay? So I would take the bite, go over, under, and I'm gonna pull this hard towards me. And I wanna pinch this when I pull it hard so it stays. And then it's locked in, okay? And the cool part about this whole thing is when you're done, you just pull this out, quick release. Watch this, I'm gonna give this a tug. This was the 2 wraps. You hear that noise? Quick release. Okay, this comes undone, no knots anywhere. And then I go right here, slip knot. I pull against tree 1, watch this. Quick release. And then come on down here. If I go back here, come on up. I just have this trucker's hitch that in one quick pull, everything is undone. And then I have my rope here that I can just wind up, which I'll show you in another video. And everything is good to go for your next ridge line, to set up your next tarp, your next shelter. And there are absolutely 0 knots in the rope. This is the Climbing Bushcrafter, Jim Shields. See you next time.